What is up, expat fam? Welcome back to Matteo's Italian Adventure, Part 3, Italian Language School in Florence. In case you missed Part 1 and 2, be sure to click the playlist link above so that you can catch up and carry on watching this video. So in my previous video, volunteering on an organic farm in southern Italy, at the end of my video, I said that I was planning my next steps to what I was going to do in Italy. And we came to the conclusion that I was going to go to Italian school in Florence. So the day came when it was time to leave the farm. This was after 2 months of working there, and I was ready to move on to my next adventure. So I checked the bus schedule beforehand, and I knew what time the bus was going to come. And so I got dropped off at the bus station, I bought my ticket, and then I sat. And guess what? My bus never came for like 2 hours, only to realize that I managed to choose the only day that month that was a public holiday. And so the schedule wasn't the normal schedule. Well, on my bus journey to Rome, I started to think, since it's a public holiday, is my bus going to be the only thing affected, or is everything going to be affected? So I got to the train station and they had like a self-service machine, the one where you put your train and your time, your date. And the train that I wanted to take was like the local train that takes 4 hours, costs a couple euros, and you just kind of sit there and it makes multiple stops and then gets to Florence eventually. But no, that train wasn't running that day. Either I take an expensive train or I try and figure out something else. But the day was already going past and I wasn't seeing much light at the end of the tunnel. So 40 euros later, I managed to book a ticket on the FOS train that will get me from Rome to Florence in 1.5 hours. So the next step was complete. And so I made my way down to the tracks and I sat at my platform and I was like, this train's only coming in like an hour, 2 hours. So I'm just gonna sit here and wait. I was a bit confused when after about 10 minutes of sitting at this platform, the train arrived. And I was like, oh geez, this thing got here pretty early. Like it's gonna leave in an hour and a half. So I better just like get on, slowly find my seat, get everything sorted. And so I looked at my ticket, tried to find the carriage number. I found my carriage number, went to try and find it on the train. Could not find it on the train, which was super weird. So I just got onto the carriage number that was closest to mine. And then I looked for my seat number and I tried to find my seat number. I couldn't find my seat number. And so I just sat down and I was like, this is confusing. I must have just got on at the wrong time. This train is going to leave in an hour and I'll be able to find my seat before then. But no. Life's not that easy. The train left in about the next 5 minutes. And so I started to panic because I was like, my train's not supposed to leave for like an hour and a half. So during my journey, I was busy messaging my family saying, hey guys, I think I am on the wrong train. Like, what am I gonna do? They're like, well, there's nothing you can do. Just sit there and I guess ride it out. And so that's what I thought was going to be the plan, and I'll just get off in Florence. But who would have guessed that in a first world country, they had people that came and checked your ticket to make sure that you weren't just getting a free ride. And so at this point, my heart rate started to gently incline. And I was like, oh, here we go. An hour and a half of a stressful train ride. Trying to hope, please Lord, that this dude's not going to come around and ask for my ticket and I'll just be safe to get off in Florence. Because this train that I was on said the next stop was Florence. So it was just going straight from Rome to Florence. So like odds of me getting kicked off were very slim because they're not going to stop a train just to get me off the train. And so now I just sat and I waited and my nerves were in my mouth and I was like, please may the conductor not come around. Please, please, please. Well, friends, all my praying did not pay off. I watched as that conductor came from another carriage and into mine and started asking people for their tickets. Can you imagine how I feel now? I'm freaking out. Inside, I'm like, my heart's beating. I'm messaging the family saying I'm screwed. Don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't know. Either this guy's asking for tickets and I clearly don't have the ticket for the right train. And so the only thing I could do was just sit there and wait for him to come. And so I watched as he checked everybody's tickets in front of me And with each person, my heart rate went up by 10 beats per minute and kept going up. By the time he reached me, like, I'm beating, man. I'm beating so fast. And he looks at me. I hand him my ticket with a smile. He looks at it. He looks back at me. He shakes his head, hands my ticket back, and carries on. And I was like, sweet, sweet. This dude, like, just let me go. Like, what a treat. I finally dodged the bullet. My nerves calmed down. But no, that was not the case. After he had finished our carriage, he came back to me. He went, get up. So I got up. My heart rate went up as well. And he called me to the back of the carriage and started speaking to me in Italian. And so I was like, whoa. Look, my friend, I don't speak Italian. Like, I don't know what you're saying. Can you speak English? He was like, okay. He just switched over to English. I was like, okay, well, I played really dumb. Like, I didn't understand any Italian. My first time traveling, which kind of was. And he said, you're on the wrong train. And I was like, wow. Is this train not going to Florence? He's like, it is. And I was like, then I'm on the right train. So he was like, no, you're not. Your train only leaves in like an hour and a half. And, well, you're on our train now. And I was like, but isn't it like the same train, just a different time? He's like, no, you're on a completely different train company. Guys, I'd got on the, like, maroon train when I should have been on the red train. And you can tell by my pictures what the difference is. And so for 10 minutes, he spoke with his coworker and was trying to figure something out. And then looked at me and said, you had €100 ticket right now. You're going to have to pay that. I was like, oh, no, God, please, I don't have €100. Please, can you just, like, help me out? And he was like, he spoke to his coworker for like another 10 minutes, and I was just sitting there going, okay, please. And, well, after the 10 minutes passed, he was like, okay, we're going to let you off this once, but don't be an idiot next time. Check your ticket. And so my heart rate reduced, and I dodged my bullet. What an idiot traveler for the first time, hey? Well, I never made that mistake again, I can tell you that. Now I watch my train numbers and times and make sure that I get on the right train. And so I got to Florence, and I had, like, the Google Maps tells you what bus you need to get on to get to where you need to be. And so I knew my bus number, I took my bags, I wheeled them to the bus stop, and then I stood there for a few minutes. And eventually my bus came, and I knew it was my bus because it said the number on the front. So I was like, whew, finally got something right for the day. But no, I managed to get on the bus that is going this way, where I needed to get on the bus that is going that way. And so if I got on the bus going this way, I would have gone from here to here within like 15 minutes. But no, I got on the bus going that way, and so I went from here to here and then back again. So an hour and 15 minutes later, I finally arrived at where I needed to be. So that was error number 2 for the day, but I didn't make that mistake again either. So why was I actually in Florence? Well, I'm guessing you read my title that said I'm there for language school in Florence. So the first day in Florence, I went and found my school, because that is the Italian language school I was going to go to. It was called Scuola Toscana, and according to their website, I can read you the description. Scuola Toscana is a school of Italian language and culture for foreigners. Located in the heart of the historical center of Renaissance Florence. Don't know why I said that with a French accent, but I mean, Renaissance. It's Italian in English. The school is on one of the main streets in Florence and right next to Santa Croce, where I ended up living a few months later. So I attended school from the beginning of June to the end of July, and I chose Florence as it had the least dialect in Italy. It's the most understandable Italian throughout Italy. The school organized my accommodation, and I stayed with an Italian family, and there were other students that stayed there with me as well. My best friend at the school was Constantine. He was from Switzerland. I did an intensive Italian course. It was 6 hours a day, every weekday for 2 months. After my 6 hours of school a day, they used to offer tours, like walking tours through Florence, or going to the art galleries, going to the museums. These tours were in Italian, but like student Italian. And so they spoke very clearly, and so I could try and understand what they were saying. So what did I actually get out of these 2 months at school besides learning Italian? I got to see magnificent churches, the most famous art galleries in the world, some of the most stunning architecture you can find in Europe. And during this time, I went to neighboring towns and cities. I went to Cinque Terre, which is the 5 lands on the coast of Italy. I went to Calcio Storico, which is the most violent sport in the world. I watched that twice whilst I was in Italy, and it's truly incredible to watch. It's a couple 100-year-old sport. I went to the Palio di Siena, the world's oldest horse race, which is just packed with thousands of people, and it's only a 1.5 minute horse race, but it's another incredible experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. I met so many new people at the school. My other best friend was Daniela from Malawi. She lived in England. I mean, these people were all over the place. I had 2 German friends that I hung out with all the time, Adrian and Chiara. Well, the incredible sheer amount of friends that you make at the school just opens you up to a whole new world of cultures and languages. You get to learn a little bit from each of them, and you get to share some of your culture in return. And so Italian school is a special experience in its own. Your confidence once again grows. You get kicked out of your comfort zone. You start to try new things. I got to experience new Italian foods that the school encouraged you to go and try. And we went and tested new restaurants, new bars, new little alleyways that sold little fried dough balls that were uniquely Italian because they had something stuffed inside them that was an Italian ingredient. You just tried so many new things, and you weren't scared to do it because you're not the only one doing it. All your friends around you are willing to try new experiences, willing to eat new things, experience new places, learn new stuff, and it's a truly unique experience. While we were there, Daniela recommended that we go to Cinque Terre with a student tour company, and so I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And that is actually where my next journey began. And so that is part 4, guiding bus and Vespa tours through Europe. If you enjoyed my video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and consider clicking the subscribe button if you would like to see where the rest of my journey goes.